3, 2,
1.
So, assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is so weird that I'm filming with someone. I want to introduce you guys to someone very special to me. A chapter of mine that I didn't know would come this quick in life. I'm being honest. Alhamdulillah. So, a couple of days ago we announced that we got married, alhamdulillah. And a lot of you guys have been asking about the how we met story, along with how we just did
how we did the nikah and everything, and how we did the engagement.
How I approached her father and whatnot. So this video is going to be about that. Yes. But this is
the wife. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sarah, and a lot of you guys asked me how old I was. So I'm 20, and you guys asked me what I was studying, and I am currently studying education. And I just got married to Yusuf.
Ethnicity?
I am half Syrian and half American.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
If you guys don't know who I am, what's up? My name is Yusuf. I am 23 as of 2 days ago. Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
I'm married to my beautiful wife, Sarah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Half Pakistani, half Filipino. I have not studied any formal education other than high school. I do full-time content, alhamdulillah, with some businesses on the side. And yeah, I have this channel where I basically share my life and my interests and my hobbies. If there is like a couples channel that we are thinking about making, that's a different type of commitment. But if that's something you guys would want, then you can let us know. So basically, everyone wants to know the big question of how we
met.
So it was around, what was it, 2021?
Yeah,
right?
when I was putting on my hijab.
What month was it?
July.
17th.
The 17th.
So it's around July. It was 2021 of July,
Yes.
July 17th to be exact. Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Before that, Sarah was posting some. You were posting some.
I was posting my journey of finding Islam again and putting on my hijab.
Yeah, and like I wasn't like searching for anyone. I was just doing my own thing on TikTok, but her account would pop up sometimes. And I remember checking her bio and it was like not hijabi yet,
but
you know.
I wear it online.
So I was getting kind of excited for her to become hijabi just in general, you know, because it's a big step when someone puts on their hijab. It's not an easy thing. I think July 17th she put on hijab finally, and I saw her announcement video of like she's finally being hijabi.
I was literally crying.
So that video honestly like touched my heart, alhamdulillah, and I was like, okay, this is like someone I wouldn't mind to get to know, you know. So I reached out on Instagram and I was like, hey, assalamu alaikum, like congratulations
on
what did I say at the beginning?
You're like, congratulations on this big step. Inshallah, like all is well, something like that.
Yeah, I think congratulations on this big step. Like putting hijab isn't easy.
Like
that was like my icebreaker, you know. I had to make sure that I was being respectful and everything.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of like just got to know each other and whatnot. This was 2 weeks before I moved to Dallas.
Yeah, right. He was still in Louisiana at this time.
So this girl's known me
since
day one, alhamdulillah, right? But as time went on, we got to know each other, alhamdulillah.
Yes,
but when I moved to Dallas, life got really busy.
Yeah.
And a lot of unexpected challenges happened in my life where I had to figure out what I wanted to do, what I needed to do, how to find like my placing. Because I'm sure if you guys are coming from other videos of mine, you know that I talk a lot about a man finding his own path, I guess you can say.
We had a lot of growth that was happening.
Yeah, and then at that time she just finished high school as well.
It was my first year. Yeah, it was my first year going into college, and it was a lot of stuff happening for both of us. I was learning so much about myself and like putting on hijab. And it was just like a very, not difficult time, but it was a time where we were going through like a lot of internal battles. You
know, so we decided to step back from the relationship because we were getting to know each other for the sake of marriage, of course, but we couldn't pursue the next step, which was this, right? Which was this, because we just had so much growth to do internally, and I feel like we wouldn't have even been able to get to this point right now if we would have gotten married like 2.5, 3 years ago, because we just weren't ready. As much as we wanted to be ready, we weren't ready at that time. Yeah, we weren't ready, and I was 20.
Yeah, and I was 18. I just turned 18.
How old are you now?
You're 20? I'm 20 right now. I'm 20 funny right now, but I don't think that it would have been the best decision.
Thinking about that time,
it would
oh
not
my God.
have been the best decision to get married. We just had so much growth to do as individuals. Like there was a lot of things that we needed to learn about our behaviors and our patterns and stuff like that.
I think it was really cool because when we got to know each other, a couple of things that we learned was attachment styles, communication styles, and love languages.
Yeah.
Those were like conversations that we had. We stopped conversation probably towards the end of 2021.
Yeah.
And we decided that when we are ready to open up that chapter again, we'll reconvene. I guess you can say a break, but it was more of like, okay, we're not going to entertain this anymore.
Yeah.
Until
and then we reconvened
in May.
We reconvened in May.
After Ramadan.
After Ramadan of this year, a lot of things that happened to us both, and I think it was very beneficial for us both.
Yeah, I was ready to get married after this Ramadan. There was like a shift in my friend group where all of us, all my friends were like we were getting more deen oriented, and we were figuring out like fatherhood and just thinking about
how you guys wanted to be as men.
Yeah, I think it's just because I don't know. I think when you're 18 to 20, you're so
such a big shift.
You're still thinking of yourself as like a young individual.
Kid,
Not saying that I'm like super old now, but I think there's like there's like a mental shift when you pass 21. All my friends were passing 21, and I just wanted to enter that next step, So I decided to reach out to you.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
and we did it right this time, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So now, how did we go about
this? What happened here? Alhamdulillah, it was really good. It was in May, and so we discussed like we wanted to get married, and we just took some time, made sure that we were ready for this step. We took the time to ask each other the right questions again, make sure that all of the, like the basic guidelines were fulfilled and all of that.
I remember how it was like, I called her, and we spoke that day for like 6 hours.
Yeah, on the phone.
Took up the whole day. We were like running errands together, just catching up
on the phone.
On life, and saying how like
we missed each other.
Yeah, there was like a huge elephant in the room where it's like, so do we want to go forward with this? Like, is this is this like something that we want to pursue? Yeah. Alhamdulillah, at the end of the phone call, I think we discussed everything, like how we discussed like our old relationship 2 years ago.
Yeah, which wasn't.
And how that definitely was not the right time. And then we reassessed.
We weren't right as people.
Is this the right time? And alhamdulillah, both of our parents, like all of our parents, were very welcoming in the sense that if you're ready for this chapter and she's ready for this chapter, then you guys can go ahead and move forward. So she was like, what do we do next? I was like, let me talk to your dad. Go straight to her father.
He called my dad literally like a few days later.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
it was after Fajr, Salam.
Yeah.
I was at the gym with Junaid.
Yes.
And I called your dad, he didn't pick up.
Yeah.
And then he called me back.
Yeah.
And my heart was pounding, right? But I was like, I need to get this like done. I had pre-workout in my system. I'm like all jittery. I'm like pacing around the gym, literally walking around the building. And then your dad and I had such a beautiful conversation. It wasn't even about you. It was just about catching up on life. He was just like, what are you up to? Like, how are you doing? How's your family and everything? And I almost forgot to like mention you. Like the conversation was going in a way where it's like just him and I. We were talking about politics. We were talking about like life. And we were just talking about just deen and everything. And we were talking about Quran and Hadith and whatnot. And then I was like, oh yeah, by the way, like I don't know if Sarah mentioned to you. And she's like, he was like, oh yeah. But I don't remember exactly how it went because it was a very fun moment for me.
It was so much, all at once.
Yeah, it was all at once. But I remember asking your dad, like I called him Baba at this point. I was like, Baba,
can I have?
Like I'm calling because I want to ask for Sarah's hand in marriage. Like I literally said that. I don't know, for some reason I always wanted to say that. I was like, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage? And he laughed. He's like this like chuckle in his voice.
So cute.
And he was like, yes, Yusuf, you have my blessing.
Oh.
My heart dropped. I was like, bro, what? I remember it was subhanAllah. It was
so nice.
It was incredible. Alhamdulillah. Hung up the phone. He was like, listen, I gotta go back to work. And I'm sure you got stuff to do too. And then I'm like jumping up and down. Like literally like this, just like getting super giddy. I run back inside the gym. I'm like, Junaid, guess what just happened, bro? And then he's like, oh, did it go good? I was like,
it was good.
It went better than expected.
I think I was at school or I was at work at this time.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I think I texted you.
Yeah, and you texted
your dad.
Yeah, I was either at work or I was at school.
Yeah, and then from there on out, we had to figure out a way for our parents to meet.
Yes.
So
it was literally the next month. He called my family in August, and literally we tried to make it happen in August, but it was just we were going back to school. I was going back to work. It was just too much all at once. So we did it the first week of September.
We were able to squeeze it out and
We were both so nervous for our families to meet because they had met in the past, but it wasn't for like we're setting a date. So we were both so nervous for that, but alhamdulillah, it went really well. We had a beautiful, I think, dinner. We had cake, and we were all just bonding so well. His sisters came, so it was so nice. We loved it, and I finally I felt like a really big part of the family, and I felt so accepted. So alhamdulillah, it went so beautifully. And I remember our dads went into the prayer room in my house, and they were like, come here, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And so they were like, let's choose a date, and we literally picked a month and like 3 days after
from that day.
Yeah, from that day. So me and Yusuf were literally sitting on the floor and
thinking about it. I remember how nervous.
Yeah, we were both so nervous. We were like playing with our fingers, like
because
so
it was like a huge culture clash. Because my dad's Pakistani, my mom's Filipino,
and my dad's from Syria, and my mom is from she's from here.
So we had no idea what to expect,
do.
You know? It's very, very, very diverse.
Yeah.
People, families coming together. But we actually realized there was a lot of similarities.
There was.
And we set the
it
date
was so nice.
for
October 7th, and the prep was so it was so scary, and like we were figuring out what to wear, and like picking apartments was so fun, and it was.
I would say maybe from September until October.
Yeah.
There was so much going on. And
yeah.
I remember from the moment we set the date, life kept going.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the most stressful time of our lives.
Yeah, it was the most stressful
because
time
we were planning
because I had to work, I had college.
I lived in Dallas.
He lived in Dallas still, so it was really hard because every time we wanted to do something together, he had to drive literally 5 hours to see me. So it was a lot on both of us, but alhamdulillah, this is the first week that we both have been very calm, and it's been the first glimpse of how our life is going to be in the future, inshallah. But alhamdulillah, we've had a great time, and it was literally the nikah day was the best day of my life. Literally the best day of my life.
The nikah, alhamdulillah, was conducted very simple. We made it very clear to our families that we wanted to follow Ahl Sunnah. Yeah, we wanted to do it according to the Sunnah, very small and intimately, not a big celebration or anything. Literally, we had
very simple clothing.
Very simple clothing. It was very last minute.
We had literally 50 friends maximum. There was literally 50 people. Yeah, friends and family was there. Only 50 people total. And we just did it at the masjid, the very simple, cozy masjid.
Went out to dinner afterwards.
Went out to dinner, and then we just went home. And that was it.
It was really good. And
it was so nice.
It was very nice. It was exactly how I wanted my nikah
to be.
Our nikah to be.
Yeah.
You know?
It was very simple.
I'm sure there's a lot of detail that we're missing.
Yeah. We can do a really detailed how we got engaged story or something. We could do that. We went together to pick his ring. We literally just went to James Avery and we tried on a few. We got his engraved with the date that we got our nikah done. Yeah. And then he was going crazy looking on Etsy for thobes to wear. And I didn't know what dress to wear. I literally borrowed my friend's dress. I had no idea what dress to wear because I was looking and everywhere was so expensive, or they just didn't look the way that I wanted them to look.
We wanted to make sure our nikah was done in the most simple way possible because there's just more muhabba and love and barakah in that.
Because we wanted to make this version of our relationship the best ever. It was such a beautiful day. It was cool and kind of windy.
It was crispy. The air was crispy.
Yeah, crispy and we both, alhamdulillah, looked so cute. There was a lot of love in the air. And the food was so good, and our friends were there. And it was just such a beautiful time, alhamdulillah. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure we followed everything
to as
Islamic as possible. Yeah. Because we didn't want to make the same mistake twice where we were just talking and there was no direction, there was no end goal. But this time when we came back together, we made it a point to get married.
I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know how to go about it in your own situations. Mm-hmm. When we got to know each other, the first time, and when you were 18, I was 20.
I was 18, yeah.
It was damn near impossible for us.
Yeah, it's not possible.
You know what I mean?
And it's not right.
And I'm sure there's people out there that can do it, but for us personally,
it wasn't.
I thought I was so
We both thought we were so mature. We thought we were so ready. But realistically, there were so many toxic behaviors we both had, and there were so many things that we had to learn about ourselves, and we had to just, do a lot of inner work, I would say. Mm-hmm. And because we didn't want to bleed on the relationship again, that's why we made it a point to make sure this time we were ready. We were doing this properly with Islam in mind, always with Allah. We always knew Allah was around. We always made sure Allah was the main thing that we focused on. And I think that that's the best piece of advice I can give anyone is always keep Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in mind and just have a lot of tawakkul in Allah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just trust that His plan is always the best. Because we tried to force it to happen when we were younger. And it just wasn't right. And we were so sad about it. We were both so upset about it. But now, being almost 21 and him being 23, I see why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't let it happen until now.
Yeah, and doing things correctly
with
or the parents involved, you know,
siblings,
with a better head on your shoulders, it really, really did.
Yeah.
You truly feel the butter. It's weird because, you know, when you're a teenager and you go throughout life and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, the butter
it's
is
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
you think it's not real.
you know, like if I guess I would say like if you're scared to tell your parents about
Don't be.
marriage,
Don't be.
right? Number one, don't be, of course. But number two, if you're really scared about telling them, then you're probably not ready for
You're not
marriage.
ready, yeah.
Like if the conversation isn't happening in your household, your family knows you the best. Your siblings know, like your older siblings know you the best. Alhamdulillah, like my sisters, our parents, they were very supportive.
Supportive, yeah, especially this time.
Of course, they were very like concerned as well because we're young. We're still very young, but they were like asking a bunch of questions. And when I gave them the answer, and I was like, no, this is like the person that I choose. I got to know her, and then when they spoke to her, they're like,
yeah, we love her.
They were chilling.
And my family, alhamdulillah, they love him.
But all right, guys. So that is basically the story of how we met. Alhamdulillah. Hope you guys enjoyed watching.
Okay, guys, toodles. No.
Toodaloo.
No. Okay, bye, guys. No, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
We have a flight to catch.
Yes, we do.
Because she's never left the state of Texas.
The state of Texas.
And today we were breaking that barrier.
Yes.
And
I'm flying on my first plane.
She's never been on a flight, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the post notification. It's the YouTuber thing to do. Let me do it. Right?
Okay.
Hit the post notification so you guys get notified whenever we do post the next time. All right, see you guys later.